Hare Krishna, welcome back to another session of Bhagavad Gita. We are in chapter 1, and today we will be doing text 3 of chapter 1. We are on page number 34 of the hardbound Bhagavad Gita, if you have one and you're following along. Recap from our previous session. We saw Dhritarashtra's spiritual blindness. Dhritarashtra was blind by birth. Also, he was spiritually blind because he could not see his son plotting murder plots against his own cousins, not once, not twice, several times, and he did not stop him. Dhritarashtra could not see how his son's current activities will lead him to destruction in the future. And thus, not being able to see the big picture and stopping his son from doing what he was doing, it is said Dhritarashtra is spiritually blind. Dhritarashtra's doubt in the battle scene where Duryodhana and Duryodhana's 100 brothers were standing against Pandava brothers and their army, Dhritarashtra is having a doubt because the place where the war is taking place is Kurukshetra or Dharmashetra. It's a very pious place. Dhritarashtra's doubt is, will my sons come to an understanding and decide not to fight this war? And we saw Sanjaya, his minister, who is sitting in the palace and narrating the whole story, what's happening in the battlefield to Dhritarashtra in the palace. Sanjaya tells him, don't worry, your sons are not going to back off. Meaning, the piety of the place is not going to affect them. And then Sanjay is narrating what was Duryodhana's first action in the battlefield. Duryodhana walks up to his teacher, Dronacharya. This is how much we covered so far. Agenda for today is we will see the four orders of society. This will be an introduction to the four orders of society. I want to cover this here because this is spoken of in today's verse and it makes more sense if we cover the ground here. We will see the backstory of Dronacharya and Drupada. Drupada is another character we are introducing today. Drupada is the friend of Dronacharya. We'll see the liberal nature of a Brahmana, and we will go back to the scene where Duryodhana walks up to Dronacharya, and we will see what is the conversation between the two in relation to the story that's being introduced in this verse. We'll start with prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, who, with the torchlight of knowledge, has opened my eyes, which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My dear Lord, and the spiritual energy of the Lord, kindly engage me in your service. I am now embarrassed with the material service. Please engage me in your service. Four orders of society. We're just introducing the four orders of society and They will be covered in much more detail going forward. The first order of society is the Brahmana class, the intelligent class, which are the teachers, the educators of the society. Prabhupada also calls a Brahmana class as the head of the society because they are educators and they are directing the society in a particular direction, like the intelligence directs the whole body to do things. Next is the Kshatriya class, or the protectors, which are the kings and the government. They take the responsibility of protecting the citizens of the kingdom or the state or country. Next is the Vaishya class. They are the business class people who conduct, who own businesses. Then are the Shudra class, who are the worker class who seek employment and jobs and work for the business class, the protector class, and the intelligent class people. Moving on to the backstory of Dronacharya and Drupada. Dronacharya and Drupada went to the same school and were nice friends. Dronacharya was a Brahmana and was very poor. Drupada was the son of the king and he was supposed to be the next king. As they were classmates in school, one day Drupada promised Dronacharya that when I become the king, I will give part of my kingdom to you, so that will take care of your needs. Fast forward, they grow up, and now Dronacharya comes to the palace of the king Drupada and asks Drupada to fulfill his promise that he had made in childhood to Dronacharya. Drupada denies making any such promise. Dronacharya wants to teach his friend a lesson because being a king one has to be righteous and one has to uphold their word. And so Dronacharya fights a battle with Drupada, defeats Drupada in the battle, and returns the kingdom which he now won. He returns that kingdom to Drupada as an insult. Drupada, being a Kshatriya, is very angry at this act of Dronacharya. And Drupada conducts a great sacrifice to receive a benediction to have a son that will kill Dronacharya. After the great sacrifice, he receives Drishtadyumna as his son. Now, Drishtadyumna goes to the same school where Dronacharya is the teacher. And that's the topic we are discussing now, saying the liberal nature of a Brahmana. So, Drishtadyumna is supposed to kill Dronacharya, and Drishtadyumna goes to the school to learn the military art from Dronacharya. And Dronacharya, being very liberal and a Brahmana, he teaches Drishtadyumna the military warfare art, knowing very well that Drishtadyumna is going to use the same military art to kill him. Someone may ask, why? If I know somebody is going to kill me by something that I am teaching him today, I would not teach him rather. But Dronacharya was a Brahmana, and the duty of the Brahmana is to impart knowledge and education to others. And Dronacharya held his duty above his life. So he taught Drishtadyumna the military art. Also, when a Brahmana does not share knowledge that he has, that knowledge is lost. So it is necessary and it is important that a Brahmana shares whatever knowledge he has. And Dronacharya was following these principles of being a Brahmana, so he educated Drishtadyumna in the military warfare art. Coming back to the scene with Duryodhana. Now, Duryodhana walked up to his teacher, Dronacharya, and he is pointing to Dronacharya in relation to this incident which had happened way back. He's saying Drishtadyumna has arranged the military phalanx after having learned the art from you, Dronacharya. And he is saying that Dronacharya made a mistake by teaching Drishtadyumna. So he's pointing a mistake of his teacher, which he considers to be a mistake. Why is it a mistake in his point of view? Because now in the battle he has to deal with another extra thing which came into picture only because Dronacharya taught Drishtadyumna, and Drishtadyumna has arranged the military in such a nice fashion for the Pandavas who are on the opposite side of Duryodhana. And looking at that arrangement, Duryodhana's heart is very fearful. And so Duryodhana is saying, you did a mistake. He's saying his teacher, Dronacharya, you did a mistake, and now he's warning him, do not be lenient with the Pandavas. Because Dronacharya was very affectionate to the Pandavas, and so Duryodhana is saying, you made a mistake, now don't be lenient with the Pandavas. One doesn't talk to one's teacher like that. And if one's heart is fearful, one is supposed to express very openly that, hey, I'm feeling fear because of this very nice arrangement of military art, seeing the opposite party doing such a nice military arrangement. My heart is fearful. That is a proper way of communicating to one's teacher. But Duryodhana, being a politician, he is going back in the history and pointing out to Dronacharya, saying, you made a mistake. And now, don't make another one by being lenient to the Pandavas, otherwise, we will lose this battle. So, that's text number 3. Summary: we saw 4 orders of society: Brahmana, educators, teachers, Kshatriyas, governments, kings, Vaishyas, the business class, Shudras, the worker class. Backstory of Dronacharya and Drupada. They were nice friends, went to the same school. Drupada made a promise. When Dronacharya asked him to fulfill the promise, he denied. Dronacharya fought with him, won the kingdom, and returned him the kingdom as an insult. Drupada got very angry. He did a great sacrifice to receive a benediction to have a son that will kill Dronacharya. And Drishtadyumna was that son to whom Dronacharya taught military art because he was very liberal. He held his duty above his life. He was a Brahmana. He believed in sharing his knowledge. So he taught Drishtadyumna, knowing well that Drishtadyumna will kill him in the future. Back to the scene with Duryodhana. Duryodhana walking up to his teacher Dronacharya and telling him, "Hey, you made a mistake by teaching Drishtadyumna. Now look at this. He has arranged the military force on the opposite side so nicely. Now don't be lenient to Pandavas, otherwise we will lose this battle." Introducing our book club one more time. It's 1 month now. We have had 4 wonderful sessions of our book club, and we want to invite all of you to participate if it suits your time and interest. We are doing the book club reading every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Where are we doing? We are doing it on Zoom. This is the meeting ID and the passcode. If you would like to join, you are welcome to join. We will be happy to have you with us and have a nice reading time with all of you. Thank you all very much. Please feel free to send in any questions via text if you like. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful weekend and a week ahead. Talk to you soon. Hare Krishna.